Are you in the market for a used Jeep JK Wrangler? Well, in this video, we're going to go over some of the stuff that you need to be looking for while you're shopping. Hey everybody, it's Bubba with X's 4x4 and we build badass Jeeps. Today we got a JK in the shop and we had a good idea. Why not make a video on a buyer's guide for these used JKs? They've been around since 2007. With 11 years of production, there's over 2 million of them on the road. So there's a lot of different things to look for when you're shopping for a JK. So we're gonna go over some of that stuff. And why not start at the very beginning in 2007?
In the beginning, there was nothing.
Now when it comes time to elevate an icon like Jeep Wrangler, there's only one thing to do. Take everything Wrangler has always been.
These go to 11.
And provide more.
More?
More capabilities.
Oh yeah, thirsty for more.
More on-road refinement. More space. More comfort. More open-air adventure. More power. More safety.
No airbags?
More Jeep.
But there is one more thing.
And perhaps most importantly, more cabin. More freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, the all-new 2007 Jeep Wrangler.
Why does anybody even care about a JK Wrangler? To me, the JK breathed new life into the Jeep market, in my opinion. When the four-door JK came along, a whole new market of people opened up to it. That's why there's over, a couple million of them out there. It grew the aftermarket. There's just so much more stuff available for the JKs, and that's the reason. There's so many of them out there compared to the different models that came before it and even after it now. With the TJ, it was around from, there's no such thing as a 96, but let's say from the 97 model years up until the JK was introduced in 2007. TJ was around for a while, but the aftermarket, was never as deep as it has been for the JK. And after the JK came out, manufacturers, they retooled and started building stuff for the newer model. So some of the aftermarket fell off from there. There's still some good stuff out there from Poison Spider, JCR, TNT, stuff like, those guys, Gen Wright, still building, crazy cool stuff for the TJs, but nothing like the aftermarket for the JK.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
In 2007, for whatever reason, Jeep decided they were going to build a two-wheel drive Wrangler. So make sure that when you're shopping and you're looking at 2007 models, be very, very careful that you actually get one that's four-wheel drive. You'd be surprised how many people out there have actually bought those not knowing, and they ended up with a two-wheel drive Wrangler. So be careful. Now, if you're in the market for a used Wrangler, and because you're going to be building like a one-ton trailer queen, or you're going to be doing a V8 conversion of some type, those are actually the really good models to pick up, in my opinion. Let's say you're going to gut the whole interior, you're going to put maybe like a Gen Wright aluminum dash in there or something like that. And
Hey, there's even a fridge!
the roll cage and all that good stuff, PRP seats, whatever, then those are great because you can pick them up stupid cheap. Basically what you're buying is a tub and frame. So actually be on the lookout for those if you're in the market for that. Outside of 2007, you're safe. I've never actually personally seen one, but I've heard that there were some 07 models that had a Dana 35 rear axle. But like I said, I've never seen one. So be careful, look at the axles, and make sure you're getting a four-wheel drive with Dana 44 in the rear when you're shopping for that 07 model. Now, between 2007 and 2011, Jeep was putting the 3.8 V6 in it. Now, in my opinion, this was still a pretty good engine. There's quite a few of them out there with over 200,000 miles on them. They're gutless engines, but they're stupid reliable. So actually not a bad engine if you're looking for something that you're just gonna be hauling out there to the trails, dumping it off a trailer and going bouncing around on the rocks, then that's not a bad option. Mechanically, pretty sound, burn a little oil, they leak a little bit of oil, but overall not bad. Biggest thing that we see over and over again on the 3.8s is the driver's side exhaust manifold cracks. Almost every one of them out there is cracked. So, and really the only way around it is to go with something like a stainless steel header, then you can get away from it. But even if you replaced it with another OEM exhaust manifold, it's probably gonna crack again. So not terrible engines, but they do have a little bit of issues, but they'll go a long ways. Transmission wise, it came with a 4-speed automatic or the 6-speed manual. I hate them both, especially the standard, just terrible. Even when you geared them up, the 3.8 just didn't have enough power with that 6-speed manual to make it feel like it had any guts to it. I mean, if you had to pick between the two of them, I'm gonna tell you to go with the automatic. At least it's gonna feel a little bit more powerful, even if it's not the best transmission in the world. Transfer cases, still got the 272 and 4-to-1, just like we do nowadays. No big changes there. Now, I will say this, as we transition over into the 2012, there is that weird year in 2011, which is 2011, where you could get the 3.8 liter V6 and the 4-speed automatic or 6-speed manual, but you got the newer styled interior. So again, guys that are looking, or girls, that are looking to build like a V8 conversion 1-ton Jeep, and you like that newer interior that was available, you know, up until the end of, into 2018. Then 2011 model is that's a perfect one because, like I said, you get that upgraded interior, but that old drivetrain that's cheap and nobody really wants, not very desirable. So look at those. So in 2012, going forward, this is what we had here. Jeep introduced the Pentastar, 285 horsepower, you know, better engine, I guess in terms of power, all aluminum block, a little bit lighter, came with a 5-speed automatic, still the same old 6-speed.
Wayne,
How are you now?
good and you?
Not so bad.
Still kind of a turd in my opinion. I know a lot of you Jeep enthusiasts and purists out there are gonna hate me for saying that, but dramatically improved power-wise over the 2007s to 2011s. So if you're looking for a little bit more power, then look at the 12 and up. You know, there's a lot of people out there that dog the early models in the 2012 because they have had head issues or casting sand issues and stuff like that. But in all honesty, all that stuff is long gone by now. You shouldn't be seeing any of that. Mechanically on the 3.6, one thing you want to listen for is the death tick. You'll hear tick, tick, tick.
Even though you could still hear the driver's side head ticking away.
That's because those rocker arms, the bearings would seize up on them. And now when that camshaft's coming around and hitting it, then that bearing's not rolling anymore, it's seized. And it's just slapping that camshaft. You guys that already have those JKs, if you didn't know that, you need to be listening for that tick. When it starts happening, get it fixed right away, or you're gonna cause some major damage to that V6. I mean, catastrophic type. So get it fixed. If you're shopping for one, maybe that's a good point for you to negotiate, but honestly, if you don't know how long it's been ticking like that, you probably don't want to buy that one anyways. Probably best to move on. The 5-speed automatic, this is kind of like, you know, you went from 4-speed to 5-speed. The NAG one's a great transmission. It's used in a lot of different platforms, can hold up to a lot of power, so it's really popular all across the board. But anytime you can add more gears to your transmission and make your shift points closer together, you keep your RPMs closer together when you're shifting, the engine stays in the power band longer, so of course it's gonna feel more powerful. So not only did the 3.6 come with more power, but that extra gearing in the transmission helped it feel more powerful anyways. Same transfer cases, 272, 4-to-1. Interior wise, like I said, in 2011, they came out with that new interior. A lot of people prefer the newer interior. You know, I could care less about the interior actually, but some people like it. Yeah, really not many other upgrades to them beyond that. From 2007 to 2018, exterior wise, not a whole lot of stuff changed. I mean, in fact, it's hardly even worth mentioning. So you still got the same top options. You know, you had a couple of different options for soft tops, one option for the hard top. Fender wise, bumper wise, all that stuff, nothing really changed. There's a couple of special editions scattered here and there where you could get different coloring on them. The Hard Rock editions came with the steel bumpers. That was the first time we saw that on the JKs. So, you know, there's some stuff in there to look for when you're shopping around. Exterior wise, I will say this, the 18s will say Wrangler JK on it, indicating that it was a JK and not a JL, which was also being produced in 2018. The different packages out there, so many different ones, Willys and Rubicons and altitudes and whatever. I mean, there's just tons of different packages that all really to me came down to stickers, nothing more than that, unless you got into a Rubicon really. There was some where you could get a Dana 44 with a rear locker in it, and still kept the front Dana 30. I don't remember what that package was, but they're out there. There's a lot of you guys out there that are shopping for these your first time Jeep buyers, and you don't really know what you're looking for. I hope this helped you out. One of the benefits of buying a JK over maybe a JL or even the TJs at this point is the JKs have so much aftermarket product out there that you can customize these things to the hilt. I mean, you can buy just about every part on this thing can be replaced with something from the aftermarket, which is what makes them cool. So that's pretty much the reason I would recommend somebody buying a JK for a first-time Jeep buyer. This Jeep right here is a first-time Jeep owner. Dad bought it for his son going off to college, so no telling where he'll take it. Maybe he'll own his own shop one day and YouTube channel and be talking about this stuff with you guys too. I think the JK is a good solid choice for first-time Jeepers. Well, that's it, guys. Don't forget to visit our website for some of this cool Jeep products, and for more interesting videos about Jeeps and other off-road stuff, click here.